Hey there, precious listeners. Welcome back to another episode of the Embrace the Mud podcast. Today, we are tackling a popular notion in the world of relationships, which is you need to love yourself before you get into a relationship. Is that true? This is a question that has stirred many a debate. And here today, we are going to uncover the truth. So let's dive in. You are listening to the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, and life-giving relationships. Why focus on relationships? Because the quality of our intimate partnerships and close connections influences our health, happiness, and longevity more than anything else in our lives. Relationships matter a lot. So together, let's jump into the mud, aka our messy relationships, pull some weeds, plant some seeds, and create an enriching environment where strong relationships can take root. I am your grateful host, Dara Posner. I am a relational disaster working toward relational mastery. I am also a positive psychology coach, a relational mindset coach, a blogger, and now a podcaster. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Embrace the Mud podcast, where we discuss all things related to healthy, joyful, life-giving relationships. If you are a fan of this podcast, please subscribe, follow, like, review, and share. Your engagement in this way is crucial to the success of the podcast, and I appreciate you taking just a few seconds to support my mission, which is to help people like you flourish in life and love. All right, so today we are exploring this idea that you must love yourself before you can love someone else or be in a relationship with someone else. And this is something we see a lot. Like, I'm on social media, I see posts about this, you have to love yourself first. And, is that really true? Do you need to love yourself fully before you can love someone else or, be in a relationship that is, good enough? Well, I would venture to say that that is not entirely true. What is true is that you can absolutely love other people without having mastered the art of self-love. And what is also true is not only can you love other people without fully loving yourself, but in loving others and in being loved by others, you can learn to love yourself. Loving other people is, a beautiful, boundless garden. It's an act of care and kindness and connection that enriches both your life and theirs, your relationship with them and your relationship with yourself. Now, here's the twist. While self-love isn't necessarily a prerequisite for being in a relationship or being able to love and show love to other people or a partner, it does equip you to function healthfully within a relationship. It's a lot like that very common example given of putting on your own oxygen mask first before you help another passenger on a turbulent flight. Self-love empowers you to set and respect standards and boundaries. So let's talk about standards and boundaries and their relationship to self-love and their relationship to healthy relationships. I see standards and boundaries as like the guardians of healthy love relationships. When you love yourself enough, you are able to clarify and establish standards for how you want to be treated in a relationship and for how you want to treat someone else. Standards and boundaries are fundamentally about respecting your own worth and the worth of others. And in order to do that, you have to have an adequate connection and awareness of your own self-worth. And that's where self-love comes into play here. So, this is where things get really, really interesting because self-love has a sort of domino effect on your emotional maturity and self-awareness. And these are two really, really important skills in healthy functioning relationships. Self-love becomes, sort of the foundation upon which these qualities can develop. So when you love yourself, you're more likely to be in touch with your emotions, to be able to communicate them effectively, and to navigate, just the standard, normal conflicts in relationship with grace. In the world of relationships, self-love and healthy connections are a lot like dance partners. They complement each other beautifully. Self-love enables you to give and receive love in ways that are uplifting and nurturing to yourself and to your partner. Now, you might find yourself wondering right now, I would like to improve my relationship, and I do recognize that I can stand to cultivate more self-love. How exactly do I do that? How do I create a more self-loving relationship with myself and then have that be a foundation for showing up more lovingly and powerfully and courageously in my relationship? Well, I promise you that in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I am going to do a separate episode to address how exactly do you cultivate self-love. So whether you're single and working on self-love, or you're inside of a relationship and through that relationship, you're discovering, wow, I would like to deepen my self-love, and I would like to become better at knowing what my standards are and enforcing them. And boundaries is a really common thing that many of us struggle with. And, as we've talked about here today, there's a strong relationship between self-love and boundaries. So I'm going to do a whole episode just on that to give you some tips and pointers for developing a more self-loving relationship. It is a journey of self-discovery, of self-acceptance, and of self-compassion, and one that is never quite complete. So I will help you, be really clear and directed in what you can be doing to nurture your relationship with yourself in this way. I also do one-on-one coaching, as you know, for single folks and folks in relationships who want to set themselves up for having the most successful, healthy, joyful, life-giving relationships. So if you'd be interested in pursuing some coaching, you can go over to mudcoaching.com. You can read about who I work with, what I do exactly, how I do it. And if it seems like a fit for you, you can click on the contact page, fill out the short form, and I'll be in touch shortly. All right, so in conclusion, remember, you don't have to be a self-love guru before entering into a relationship. Love is a beautiful journey that we embark on together. And sometimes in the process of loving others, we learn to love ourselves. And also in being loved by others, we are taught how to love ourselves. But there is lots and lots of wisdom and understanding that the more you cultivate self-love, the richer your relationships become. So keep nurturing that self-love, setting those healthy standards and boundaries in your relationships, and as a result, watching your relationships flourish. Thank you so much for joining me today in this conversation. As you navigate your own relationships, may you find the perfect balance between loving others and loving yourself. Until next time, keep your heart open, love yourself, and keep that self-love flowing and your relationships thriving. I'll be back very soon with another episode right here on the Embrace the Mud podcast. In the meantime, please remember, you are wired for love and connection. You are capable of love and connection. You are worthy of love and connection. I'll see you soon.